I brought this up the last time we all met, and this is something that kind of I find quite perplexing. I mean, our public school system is not doing a good job when it comes to literacy of our students. And so the State Board of Education has come out with a new plan, and most educators will tell you that being proficient in reading by third grade is essential for the development of children. In fact, the Annie B. Casey Foundation noted that students who don't read proficiently by the end of third grade are 4 times more likely to leave school without a diploma, and increases if a student comes from low-income family, Black or Latino. And this Board of Education came up with a plan that said third grade students who aren't proficient are going to be held back. Now, there are many that oppose this. Cary, is it because we're concerned about harming the kids' psyche, or do we want to educate them to become functioning adults?
We want to educate them to become functioning adults. However, we have gone through some very turbulent times in recent years. Kids took the brunt of that with the pandemic and a lot of things, the economy. Personally, I think that we need to bear that in mind, and we need to focus on the psyche of these children as well. I mean, there's nothing more harmful to a child than holding them back in school. So I'm not supportive of that. Not to mention, a lot of it is when that child turns 5 and starts kindergarten. I mean, it affects. There's so many elements that come into play. I think we should wait a few years before we try to review this kind of thing.
Well, Mark, let's switch to you. I mean, it's been 4 years since the pandemic, and if you're a third grader, you would have been in pre-K during that pandemic year. So, I mean, are we just want to gloss over the fact that our public school systems aren't doing a good job?
Absolutely, and I think the fact that the question is whether or not to hold the student back or not is the question that we're discussing. Is illustrative of one of the main problems. The real question we should be asking is, what's the intervention on the part of the schools to get the kid to read? And that may or may not be holding back. Cary, all due respect, I go back having a kid in MCPS that had trouble reading and did get support, but we ended up going out of the school and getting a tutor, a commercial tutor. I won't give them that does a land office business in Bethesda with people going to those illustrative schools in MCPS, and they're the ones who basically taught him to read. And what's fascinating is those are resources that are available, but they're not available from MCPS. And MCPS had, quote, advised us against doing that. I will tell you that it ended up working. Again, we should be focusing not on holding it back, which is the convenience of the schools, but we should be focusing on what are the educational interventions that are going to make a difference to get the kid to read.
I agree with that.
But Cary, you got about 30 seconds to wrap it up.
Quick. I mean, electronics plays a large part of that, of the problem. I had most my kids are products of the public school system, and one has a master's degree in public health. The other was an attorney. He passed away. An attorney with a PhD in political science and a master's in business. So, our schools don't do a bad job. It is the public-private relationship that counts. Parents have a responsibility.
All right, we got to wrap this up. But I think what's illustrative of both of your stories is the fact that you had great parental involvement.
Yes.
And that you took an interest in your kids, and the schools can't do it alone. It has to be from parents.